You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Happy Friday and greetings. Thank you so much for being here. We are broadcasting all day and every guest is showing up authentically, being transparent and sharing incredible stories about their life journey. You are watching Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn Guest Spotlight. I am your host, executive producer, director, and broadcast engineer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. My guest today has a very special story to share with us. Let's bring her from backstage. It's Pearl Chiarenza. Welcome, Pearl.
Hey, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to meet you. I love your name, by the way. I've never met anyone named Pearl. It's so pretty.
Thank you. It's 3 generations old. I'm actually named after 2 of my aunts, and I made my brother and sister said, if you ever have any girls, please don't name them after me because their maiden names are Knapp, and I was teased terribly when I was a kid with my name. But I love my name now, so yes.
It's beautiful. And are you joining us from Florida?
Yes, I'm in Tampa, Florida.
I love Tampa, Florida. It's such a beautiful place.
Awesome. I've got the best view. Look out my door. It's just beautiful sunshine right now. So it's awesome.
So Pearl, you are a life coach, and I'm a life coach also. I think it's so important for coaches to helping other people, especially now. Can you share a little bit about what made you choose this path?
Oh, yeah. So basically my life experience. So let's see. 2015, 2014, I was taking a identity and destiny class. And during that class, I'd already been in the field of like health and wellness, helping clients with their weight loss program. And so I was taking this course, and during the course, at the end, we had to do an I am statement. And I thought I said my I am statement. However, my friend who I met during the course, she called me out and she said, I don't hear anything about Pearl in there. I hear nothing about your other son. Don't you have another son? And all I hear about is your oldest son. And it was like a wake up call. And I started realizing that, I'm not the only one out there that doesn't know my journey. And I thought I had to be the mom first and the wife and everything else before me. So I started on a journey of that year. I took my oldest to college and I gave an imaginary gift and said, here's your gift that God and I put together, your life. This is up to you to how do you unwrap it. And I started on a journey of putting myself first and really having a guiltless self-care. And I did things like I still do take a staycation once a quarter, but I let my family know because I think so many times as women, we feel like we're neglecting our family when we want to put ourselves first, right? So I wanted to make sure my family knew that it had nothing to do with that I didn't love them, but I had to take care of me first because if I wasn't, then I couldn't be 100% in for them. So that's where I started. And it's been an amazing transition. And I went and I became a naturopathic wellness coach, a life coach, and it's just been amazing to pay that forward now.
Well, bravo. I think that's exceptional. And I love your messaging behind you. It makes you feel happy and joyful. So you're also a speaker and an author. And I know you've had your own journey with dieting and weight loss. And I'm wondering if you could share, let's start with your journey with weight, because I think that's so important, especially coming out of the pandemic. I know myself, I used to have a trainer and I was going to the gym and I had these big muscles. And, now just working out at home, it's not the same. So you mentally have to try to adjust to that. So if you would share a little bit about your journey in that regard.
So when I moved from Virginia here to Florida 15 years ago, I remember I used to go to the bus stop, take my kids to the bus stop, and my neighbors would be there with me. And I used to say to her, how could you walk down the bus stop in your PJ, like in her robe, right? And until I moved to Virginia and I really got it, that the whole process of getting the kids out the door quick enough and, just that whole process, I didn't understand it. I had a hysterectomy. And so I was basically put in a menopause very quickly before I wanted to be, of course. And then I started to gain weight. So I needed to do something about that journey. And so I went to a clinic. I found a program. I loved the program. It was a great program that I was doing. And then that's when I started my journey. It wasn't one of these programs that you had to, sign a bunch of people up. It was just, how can you help people? And that's what I loved about it. So I started my journey of losing over 60 pounds. It's been almost 10 years ago. You talk about the pandemic. I've had some challenges with that because I've had some hormone issues have come up. So I'm working through all of that right now. But that's where I started my journey. And I wanted to help and pay it forward because, it's hard. And my thing is, I'm really not about, when I coach my clients, I'm not about the number on the scale. I want to know why we are where we are, that we have to get help. And that's really what my journey was been about. And that whole mindset around, I don't like the word diet, about the changing in your lifestyle. And so that's where I started my journey and started to lose weight, empowered my family. And now it's part of my life every day.
That's brilliant. Thank you again for being transparent. I think one thing that you touched on that we don't really talk about that much as a society is about hormones. And as we age, and sometimes we're put into situations like you described that change our hormones, that changes everything. It changes our ability to focus. It changes our skin. It changes how much sleep we need. And of course, diet has a big impact on that. And when I say diet, I mean what it is you're putting into your body, not necessarily being on a diet. What are your thoughts about women, how change in hormones can really change even our mood?
Oh my gosh, it's such a great question. It can be a mood swing, right? And the thing is like, there's so many things out there to help us with our hormones. We get lost and it just throws us in a tailspin sometimes. And so I always talk about taking control of what you want for your hormone journey, whatever that is for you, because there's too many things out there, right? And I had tried hormone pellets and it totally set me on a path that I did not want to go on. So I got off of those. And literally I've gone to my doctor, and my doctor, whenever I come in, I go in, I say, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I would like to see done. Like I went 2 weeks ago because all of a sudden out of nowhere, I got insomnia. I've never had insomnia for 4 days. Came out of nowhere. So I know something's not right. And I've started losing my hair a little bit. So I'm like, okay, something's up. So I went in and I said, I want this, and this blood work done. Right. And they're like, boy, are you sure? I'm like, listen, even if my insurance doesn't cover it, I'm paying for it because we live with our body every single day, 24/7. That doctor, you go in and see 15, 20 minutes, right? So if you can go in and say, this is what's happening for me, I need help. And, get the help you need and really do be educated. Talk to your doctor about how you're feeling, really let them understand what's going on, how you're feeling, and let them help guide you to the best path for you. That's really being responsible and taking control.
Great points there. And you're right. We live with our body every day. We go see someone who, listen, maybe they're fully engaged, maybe they're fully present, maybe they're not, maybe they're still tied up with the case before, who knows? So we really have to be our own advocate and do the things that work best for us. I know I had tried those vitamins. I forget the name of the brand, but they're for hair and nails and skin. And I found it's kind of funny. I was getting like a beard on one side of my face. So I stopped taking them, but it's just interesting. And I think it's hormone related that sometimes my nails are strong as can be and they're like an inch long. And now they're not doing so great. So I think I have to look at what am I doing? What am I putting into my body? Maybe what nutrients am I missing?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's so important. Like I've got a great vitamin line that I love and I take, and I use it every day. And I mean, even my own mom, like I send my mom a 90-day supply because I can ask them to custom blend it together a certain way. So they're all together in a container. And even my mom, she went to her doctor. She just recently got diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer. So she had to go through radiation. And so I'm here in California. She's in California. I'm in Florida. And so we're talking on the phone and the doctor says to my mom, you're the most unhealthiest 70-year-old I've ever seen. And I'm like, hello, I'm here in Florida going, yes, I sent her a 90-day supply of vitamins in October and she's still using it. Here we are, April. And the doctor said, you need to do what she's telling you to do. And I was like, thank you. Because, our family, they don't want to listen to us sometimes, right? We're the closest thing to it, right? And so it's really important for me and my family and my clients I work with is to have the right thing. And even I may not have the right thing that works for them. It's like, let's talk about what you need and what's best for you. Because I'm also the kind of coach, if I'm not the right fit, I'm going to tell you I'm not the right fit, but let's find you somebody that is the right fit. And so that's what's important for me, is taking that control.
I love the fact that you really care about whether or not it's going to work between you and a client. There are plenty of coaches, they just take anyone, doesn't matter. It's just money, basically.
Right.
And that's their model, and that's fine. I'm not judging. So how do clients work with you? What does that process look like?
So there's a few different ways. I mean, they can find me online. I do retreats. We have a pajama retreat every year. Sometimes they meet me when they come to a retreat. But basically, when they come into my office, I want to know about them, right? So we may meet virtually, we may meet one-to-one, whatever that case is. But I really want to know about them, like what's happening. Like, I'll just give an example. Let's say you come to me and you want to on a journey of getting your health and wellness in track, right? Well, if any program you do, you can lose weight on, right? But why are you on the path, and why are you sitting across from me, or why are we having this conversation? And so a great example is I had a client one time, and I measured her. I asked her what her goals were. I don't do the scale till the end. And I'm like, okay, so tell me what happens. You're going to lose this weight. She had a number in her head she thought she wanted to lose. I said, so what happens when we're done? When you get to the end, you've made the journey, you've succeeded in what the numbers you want. What's going on? And she's like, well, I want to meet a man. I'm like, okay, so let's talk about him. What's he look like? What does he do? What are his ethics? Was he married before? Does he have grandkids, kids, all of that stuff? What color is his hair? Like, really, you sit down and picture that person. And she's like, you don't want to know what number on the scale? I'm like, no, because like I said, if you do all the things you're supposed to do, no matter what program you do, if you follow it like you're supposed to, you're going to succeed. But really, what's happening up here? Let's talk about the mindset. Let's talk about what held you back. And that's what I do with all my clients, even on life coaching. It's like, okay, you're struggling at home finding balance, right? But you don't want to neglect your family when you put yourself first. Okay, so let's talk about, what do you feel is important for self-care? What are the things you love to do? And then let's talk about how maybe you might be able to incorporate your family, your job, if you're a professional and don't have any kids at home you have to worry about. How do we incorporate those responsibilities into that self-care, right? And so, for instance, if you're a mom listening to this, you might sit down with your kids and watch a silly show with the kids that they're watching. I remember my kids used to watch Barney, right? Or if you have a spouse and it's just you and your spouse, you could sit down on a couch and watch, simply as watching a movie. Or my kids are grown and flown, but my oldest used to play football, and we would go get a mani-pedi together, and I'd taken care of me while I'm talking with him, right? So just finding those things to do. In a professional, like I had a client one time, she's like, I just have all these new employees, but I need to take care of myself. I'm like, do you need to get to know your employees a little better? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you go do coffee or lunch with them and find an activity they like to do that you like to do, and spend some time outside to kind of get to know them. So that's some of the things we work on, is how do you incorporate your life with what you want to do.
I love what you're doing, because it seems like you're taking a holistic approach at the entire picture of someone's life, because too often we compartmentalize things and we don't realize that they're all intertwined. So maybe if, weight's going up, weight's going down, it could be a health related issue, but it could also be based on stress, or it could be based on you're so angry, so you're eating to stuff those feelings down. So kudos to you for getting people to look at their whole life.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's just really important. And you were talking about coaches. I had somebody come to me one time and said, I stopped going to this coach because they said they do everything exactly like they're teaching me or trying to, coach me on. However, I'm seeing that that's not the case, that imposter syndrome, right? And I really believe there's certain areas that as a coach, if, we need to lead by example, and we struggle sometimes ourselves. So I like to be transparent, authentic. And I've got clients who will know if I'm struggling or something's happening, I'll tell them, listen, things aren't perfect. And there may be an area in my life that I have a friend, she's a raw vegan chef. That's the area of her life. She's got it nailed down 100% on target, right? But there's other areas she'll tell you that she struggles in. And so I always say to myself, if you're a coach out there and you're telling your clients you're 100% exactly what you're coaching on, you're misleading your client, because nobody can be 100% in life every single day. Something comes up, but what do you do about it is the tools that you teach on how you get through that day, right?
Absolutely. And I think our clients find us to be a more valuable resource when we are showing up authentic, saying, hey, you know what, I'm not feeling so great today, or hey, this is, but we just let them know it's not going to come into the session, but this is just what's going on. And this is an experience I'm having. And if you ever have this experience, I can help you with that as well.
Definitely. That's what I love about our retreat. So we have a retreat every year. This year's our 5th year, and it's a pajama retreat, no makeup. We show up. And what I love about it is we get to all be authentic. And I really believe when we take the makeup off, we start getting to the quick layers of what's happening and why are we hiding behind things that we're hiding behind. And it's been so powerful because even there, I can be even more authentic than I really am. And we share stories at our retreats. It's kind of like the Vegas thing. What happens at the retreat stays at the retreat. But we share those stories because we want to uplift each other and we want to let other women know you're not alone. I mean, so many times women think we have to carry everything on our shoulders, and we have to understand it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to have a coach. Listen, we invest money into training. We invest money into our kids' soccers or whatever. Why not invest money into yourself? And that's what we talk about, is having that tribe of people to help you and lift you up when you're feeling like you don't know where to turn.
And when's the retreat coming up?
So the retreat is September 23rd through 27th. We're going to be in the mountains. So you can go to the website and look for the information on there. It's literally 5 days of just fun. This year, our theme is igniting your fire within, releasing your old baggage. And we have speakers there. We have sponsors that offer some amazing, we have massage and yoga, just a lot of fun. Everything's included, your stay, your food, everything. You just have to show up with a pair of pajamas for the weekend and be open to be empowered.
That sounds like so much fun. We have a comment from Sharon RG. Amazing retreats. There it is. Somebody who's been there and knows.
She is awesome. She's actually an amazing, amazing meditation coach. She's actually my meditation coach too. Hi, Sharon. So
Hi, Sharon.
She is fantastic. So we partner with her sometimes for our clients as well.
Well, I'm also a meditation coach, so I love it. Way to go. We had somebody on from the Netherlands this morning. She's also an author and a coach, and she did a guided meditation spontaneously for us today, which was a great way to start the day off.
Oh, awesome. So, yes.
Sharon says hello. Hello. We are going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors, but stay with us. We are with Pearl Chiarenza, and we are learning so much, and there's still more to come. Stay tuned. Located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey, is Margie Cedrone, artisan jeweler. Margie's been in business for more than 30 years. She works with her clients to create custom pieces of jewelry to reflect their personality and help them make their own bold statement. Starting in the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia in 1988, Margie works directly with her clients to develop one-of-a-kind pieces such as necklaces, engagement rings, wedding bands, unique watches and tennis bracelets, as well as a myriad of rings and earrings for everyone in your family. She also has worked directly with Dr. Jacalyn over the years, creating unique pieces of jewelry to reflect her personality. She does pearl stringing and repairs on site at 121 Haddon Avenue. Call or text Margie at 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone Jewelry is open by appointment only. Make your own bold statement.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back. We're so happy to have you here on Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. Guest spotlight, Pearl Chiarenza, founder of Women's Successful Living. She is an empowerment life coach, an author, a speaker, business owner, obviously. Pearl, one thing I'd like to have us touch on, we're coming out of the pandemic in some places, around the world. We're not in other places, but women have had to make all kinds of adjustments. And I'm not saying that men haven't, but women have definitely had to make adjustments, leaving the workforce to stay at home with the kids for in-home learning, other situations. How does someone get into the business world? If you're a woman out there and you'd like to have your own company, you'd like to become a coach, what would you suggest that they do?
Well, that's a great question. So I would start with somebody who maybe is a mentor for you that's in that realm of what you want to learn, no matter what the business is. But if you want to coaching, maybe reach out to somebody you admire that's a great coach. So I remember reaching out to a business woman when I started my retreats and talked about what I wanted to do. So I reached out to a mentor. I would start there and then really start thinking about what you want to coach on, right? Like, what's your story? We all have a story, like my story, right? And how you can empower and maybe touch somebody. I really believe that, no matter who you believe in, like I believe that in God, that he has put talents in all of us, but it's up to us to develop those talents and what they are. And often we're scared, right? Fear can hold on to you. And so I always say, lean into the fear, be open to whatever is going to come your way. It may or may not go the way you want it to go. However, you'll learn lessons in there. And if you think about where are the areas you need help in, right? And get that help. Don't just go in all in, because listen, social media at the beginning of my realm was not what I wanted to do. And so I had to get help. And now that I understand it, now I want to delegate it off. So now I know what my messaging is. So I delegate that off. So understand what your message is, what you want to empower, find somebody to help you on that journey, and then figure out what are the areas you want to be responsible for. And then what can you hand off to somebody else to help you so that you're focusing exactly on what that message is you want to do.
That's a great share. Thank you. And you touched on social media. What a monster that can be, right? Trying to figure out the algorithms for every single platform. And sometimes it just seems so daunting. So to work with someone who's an expert in that area, that is definitely key.
Absolutely. And I've got a great team now. And, I don't mind doing lives, and I've gone on doing lives with no makeup. We have usually once a month. I think in October it's coming out. We have a no makeup month. I've gone to parties and everything, no makeup, gone on live, and people go, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. Right. But the whole thing is like we've been talking about, like really being authentic, like show people who you are. Don't get on there and show who people don't think you are. And actually, the gentleman that's helping my social media, I tested him. So, because I kicked off a podcast last month, and I was like, well, I think it should look like this when you post it. He's like, nope, it's going to go like this. I'm like, well, I don't trust you. I don't believe you. So I'm going to do it my way. So he's like, okay, let's just do it both ways. So I did mine. He did his. He was completely correct. They didn't want to see the little pretty picture cover. They wanted to see the real stuff. So it's amazing. It's like learning it all. That's why I said, if it's not your cup of tea, get somebody to help you fill your cup.
Absolutely. I know with my journey in starting my business last year is that at any given time, I have between 5 and 7 coaches, because I don't know what I don't know. And what I find so interesting is I deal with a lot of men, obviously, and they always want to tell me what to do. They're not my coaches, but they always want to tell me what to do. Emails, WhatsApp, you should do this and you should do that. It's like, thank you. I appreciate your opinion. I have coaches and I will, work with my coaches. So yeah, I think a coach is really important. I wanted to ask you, when I see your title, Successful Living, I think that's so cool, because first of all, there's living or existing, and there's living, right? Where every day is a gift. Thank you, God. And successful can mean so many things. It doesn't have to be money. It could be anything to any person. So I'm sure when you work with your clients, you find out, what does success mean to you? What does richness? Is it riches inside? Is it in the bank account? What does it mean?
Right. Yeah. And that's exactly the journey we take. Like, what does it mean? So like for me, success means that, I'm taking care of myself. I'm making sure that what I need to be the best pearl that I can be, that those are the things I'm taking care of. And when they're not in check, I have friends like Sharon, who is on here. I've got my tribe. They'll be like, hey, let's rein you back in because we're seeing, what's happening with you. So really getting that good tribe of people around you helps you also be successful. Communication, like communicating with your family, your job, when things are not going the way you want it to, or if there's things you need, have that communication, because that allows you to share what you need, and then it allows you to be even more successful. So for me, it's like having that balance, but also understanding that if things don't stay in balance, it doesn't mean I'm failing. It just means, hey, I need to do a check-in. And that's why I love to do once a quarter. I do what I call my staycation. So once a quarter, I live in Tampa, right? It's beautiful. I'll go get a hotel room for a night or two, just myself. And I just take some time to either, might meditate. Now that I learn to meditate with Sharon, I might sit down and just journal, or I might work on a project I've been trying to get done for my business that I just I need some quiet time away, right? But I make sure I go outside, I'm in the sun. I always see the sunset when I do my staycation. So finding those things that give you that balance is really important.
Thank you for sharing that. And just to continue on, when we were talking about the people out there who maybe want to start their own business, how long would you say, in your experience, based on personal experience and people that you coach, how long does it take to be at the point where you actually have a real business and it's no longer a hobby?
So I would say that, it's a good 2 years. I would say, give yourself a good 2 years. Like, if you need to get any kind of certification or education, allow yourself that time. Having a coach, like you said, I as a coach have a coach, right? Having people around you to help guide you through what those steps are to get there. I always like to look at what's my end result and then work backwards. So who do I need to get there, right? For instance, we have somebody in our tribe that I have a Shiro League tribe, and it's a group of women. We get together every Sunday evening at 7:00. And so we were talking about goal setting, and she said, I want to have 6 new people on my team. I'm like, she says, I hope to have. I'm like, no, you will. So when do you want them? And we went, okay, she wanted them by X date. Okay, let's start backwards. What do you need? And so that's what I say too. Allow yourself a good, 2 years, 1.5, 2 years to get everything you need aligned. And if things don't fall they want to, it's okay. Don't worry about that.
Pearl, what are your thoughts about someone having this as a side gig in the meantime while they try to, they need a certain amount of income and they don't have it? As you just mentioned, it might take 2 years. Do you think it's okay for them to be doing this sort of on a part-time basis?
Yes, absolutely. I have business partners for part of my business. I have a plan that I can bring on a team of coaches and team of other business partners. And we talk about that. Allow yourself that it's okay to work your 9 to 5 if you need to while you're growing this, and some people need to do that. But having that balance, again, it goes back to balancing. Work 8 to 10 hours on your business, at least minimum. Give yourself 8 to 10 hours a week so that you can grow that business. So then if that's the case, it might take you 3 years to get where you need to be. But if you're allowing yourself and you're listening to people, going to podcasts or recordings, people that you look up to that are in your field you're going into, that can help and give you positive reinforcement and give you some, just having great mentorship it will help you get there.
Yes, that's definitely key. You mentioned earlier, or no, I was reading earlier that you do speaking. And I'm wondering, for people who are out there looking for a speaker, on which topics do you present?
So I love talking about being your authentic self. And so here's the thing. If you're listening and you bring me on to be a speaker, don't be surprised when I show up in my seersucker pajamas and I might have a twin bed sitting on the stage with me, because I really want to sit down and let's just have a conversation about being authentic, about having good self-care, about learning how to say no to things around you so you can say yes to what you really want to say yes to. So that's what I love to share and speak on, is being your authentic self, learning to say no, and then really dealing with that balance of self-care.
I love the way your face lit up when I could see you. You're actually on the stage then presenting in your pajamas with the twin bed. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. I would wear no makeup on stage if I could, but they all go, yeah, but the lighting and everything. I'm like, okay, but yeah.
Are you presently available to be hired as a speaker?
Yep, I am definitely presently available. I'm starting to get some booking up as well. And I'm on Clubhouse too. I co-mod, so I've been asked to co-mod. So you can get me to help you co-mod some of your rooms as well.
Tell us about your experience on Clubhouse. I'm on Clubhouse also, and I think that's where we connected. And I found initially, I think I got on there in January. I don't remember, February, but I was on there all the time. In fact, I have two phones, and I have the one phone in the music room, like I was parked there because I wanted to support this guy's room. And then on the other phone, I'm in a listening mode. It's like, then that is crazy stuff.
I love Clubhouse. It's been, what I tell everybody, it's like a podcast radio show. You can be interactive as much as you want to. It can be addicting. So again, set your boundaries, right? And I just think it's great connection. What I love about it is like, okay, so Facebook and Instagram, you just post and you see, and people just scroll, right? But I feel like on Clubhouse, we get to hear your authentic self. Like with me, you hear my voice, you hear my passion, right? And so if I'm listening to somebody, I'm really listening to their story, and I'm listening to how they tell their story. And I've been able to tell through Clubhouse the imposters that are on there. And I've also been able to tell the ones that are like, oh my gosh, I just want to hug that person, right? And just give them a virtual hug. And so it's been really powerful for me that way. I've been able to go on and every 6 weeks, we do a free online retreat. So I've been able to bring that retreat online around self-care. My friend Sharon, she comes into my room and we do meditations in there. So it's just been really powerful in that you can hear that true authentic self and that voice. And you just have to figure out what's the room for you, right? Don't just go in every room, but at the same time, give yourself boundaries, because you can get hooked in. Really hooked in. So you can find yourself spending many hours on there.
You definitely can. I've been experiencing like just dropping into different rooms just to see what it's about. And it's really interesting. There are moderators who are really good at what they do, and it's a very professionally run room. And then you go into some other rooms, it's like, oh my gosh, what is going on in here? I want to get out of here. Just, it's very interesting.
Yeah, and when you're moderating, you also have to have the finesse to be able to, when somebody's like carrying on a tangent, like we were in a room the other day and somebody's kind of just carrying on, and I just went in, wow, that's great subject, and I love what you're sharing, and we're going to circle back around to Dr. Jacalyn. Can elaborate on whatever the subject is? You just have to let them know that they're valuable, but then also keep control of your room, because there are some rooms that are out of control.
Definitely. And I don't know if they're bots, but they come in and they're curse words and making all kinds of weird sounds. So yes. So what's the name of your room?
So my room is called Spilling Tea Self-Care, and we are in there on Tuesday and Thursday at 8:15 p.m. And then I just recently started co-hosting a room. It's called oh my gosh, hold on. It's called Midlife. It's a midlife room talking about hormones and midlife after 40. So but if they follow me and watch me, I can share my rooms with you and later on in chat. But I just started that room. It's midlife after 40, I think is what it's called. Christine's going to shoot me when she hears this. Be like, you're just messing up the name of the room.
And so it's Eastern time. Your other room is 8:15 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, they're all Eastern time. Yep, definitely. And then I co-mod in different rooms. So you can find me, watch me. I've been asked to co-mod. So I'm doing a couple of different rooms too.
Excellent. And you did mention about a month ago you started a podcast. Is that still continuing?
Yep, it's called Conversations with Pearl. And so it's on Anchor. And then it's a podcast and video cast too. So it's also on YouTube, but it is called Conversations with Pearl. And it's just having real conversations. We've had guests on there sharing about cyberbullying. We've had guest McKenna on there talking about alopecia, just different guests. I just want to have real conversation with women about different subjects. And then it kind of, wherever it goes, it goes. It might lead off different ways, but we just like to have that conversations, because eventually we're taking that on the road as well.
And are you currently looking for guests for the podcast?
Yep. So if you want to be a guest, I know you've got my contact information. You can certainly reach out to me. And I'd love to have you on there too. I think it'd be great to have you join us as well.
I would love that too. Just for the people who are interested and they're listening on the radio, the best way to become a guest?
Go to pearl@wsliving.com and just email me, and then I can get you connected there.
Perfect. And folks, the WS is Women Successful. That's what that stands for, I assume? WSLiving.com.
WSLiving.com.
Pearl, please tell us what's next for you. It seems like you've conquered everything. What do you have on your project list coming up?
So our big project we have is we want to take the conversations with Pearl and we want to go on the road. So we are in the process of crowdfunding for a bus. So we want to take like one of those little daycare buses. We're going to convert it to a mobile living room. And we're going to pop up. You might see us pop up in your city anywhere in the U.S. You know, we haven't been able to figure out how to get it across the country, but we're going to pop up a different country. So counties. So we might go to, let's say we go to Atlanta, right? Our goal is to have 20 women that are here in Tampa create swag bags. And we're going to bring those 20 swag bags to 20 women in another city. And then those will do a swap. And then those 20 women across the country can network around their businesses. But then we also, while we're there, we're just going to have conversations around different topics, you know, like what we've been talking about here. How do you handle self-care? How do you start a business? What do I do to, you know, if I'm struggling to balance my business and my job, or I want to quit my 9-to-5, whatever that is. And the really cool thing is if we arrange ahead of time, we might ask that network group we're meeting in, hey, can all the ladies show up in their PJs? Because we really want it to be about a nice, relaxed conversation around just women's topics around, let's just sit down like you're talking with your girlfriends and then connect women across the country.
I love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So will you be traveling, you know, a whole year, or what's your plan?
So the plan is starting where the goal is, I'm saying it's happening in January. I'm manifesting it that starting January next year, we have been asked to bring our retreats to the West Coast. So we're going to Arizona in April of next year. So the goal is to start in January and just start going across the country and just hit in different states. We'll go down below. We'll make our way up until we hit April in California and Arizona. And then we'll come back across the states. So that's the goal. My husband's retiring later this year. So I said, well, you could come along, but you have to get a hotel room when we're having these conversations, right? Because I can't leave him behind. But yeah, so that's our goal. And we have a group of women that are on my team, my ambassador teams for my retreats. Carol Gill is, she's an amazing business partner with me who's helped me co-brand this. And so she's going to go along with us and help us. She's got great things that she does around the disc profile. So I'm excited to have her travel with us.
And kudos to your husband for going along. I think that's brilliant. You don't have to make any tough choices there.
Nope. My kids are grown and flown. So he's like, well, I might just fly you and meet you. So I'm like, that's fine. You know, so I'm excited.
Oh, I'm excited for you. That's a really great idea.
Thanks. Yep. That's we just want to connect women across the country and we might pull up in a grocery store parking lot somewhere and just be like, hey, come over. We'll have some tea and coffee with you and just chat.
Right. Well, good luck with that. I think that's fantastic. So Pearl is available. She's over on Clubhouse. She's got 2 rooms. Actually, she's moderating other things. She's got this retreat. She's got this incredible bus traveling tour that she's going to be doing. And you're also an author, yes?
Yes, I'm an author. In fact, I just had my most recent book just got released out. I thought I had a picture of it here. It's called Against All Odds. So that's coming out. And we're actually doing a book launch here in Tampa on June 17th. If you want, you can go to pearl@wsliving.com. We'll connect you. But we decided to do something creative, and we grabbed other women authors here in town. And we're going to this place. It's called Enjoy Your Selfie. And it's a selfie studio. And each author is going to have a selfie booth. And they're going to get to promote and sell their book along with the launch of our book.
That's brilliant. By the way, I'm launching my book on June 17th, my first book.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that awesome? That's so crazy.
That's great. I love it.
Yes. Well, good luck to you on that. That sounds like a fabulous idea.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a cute little studio. They got selfie stations all over, and every author is going to have a selfie station. And then we're going to have a question and answer, like a platform to talk about their books.
Well, I have learned so much from you. I'm going to keep watching what you're doing because I love it. It's like this whole umbrella of, arms around women supporting each other.
Absolutely. That's my goal. It's just to support. I had somebody tell me the other day that they call me the sticky soul connector. So, so if I can connect all the women's souls together, that's the goal. So, yeah.
Well, thank you again for being here. And again, one more time, the best way to contact you for any of these things, speaking engagements, being part of this book launch, the retreats, being a client, there's so many things. The best way to get in touch with you.
You can definitely either go to my website, which is really easy, wsliving.com. Again, wsliving.com. There's a contact me in there, or you can email me at Pearl without the E. So it's pearl@wsliving.com.
Pearl, you are a beautiful person, beautiful soul. Thank you so much for sharing with us today and being here. We hope you'll come back on this show or another one. We've got 17 shows a week, so please feel free to come back.
I'll be watching out for him. Definitely.
All right. Excellent. Thank you. You have a lovely weekend, and I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. Go find your inner pearl to greatness.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, she was delightful. I love to see women who just take the bull by the horns and look at all the things she's doing. So if you're out there and you're thinking about your own business, remember what Pearl said. It might take up to 2 years, and things are going to happen along the way. Get yourself a coach, get yourself a mentor, get yourself somebody who's already been where you want to go, who can help guide you through the process. I hope you'll reach out to Pearl, go over to Clubhouse, go to her website, get involved with her. I can just tell you the energy she has, which is coming through the screen over here. So I hope you can enjoy going to the retreat that she's having. I think that would be delightful. So thank you again for being here. We have 3 more shows left. One is starting, I think, in 15 minutes, and that's Pet Psychic Amina. And then we have another show, Stories of Hope, Inspiration, and Overcoming Adversity. That's at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, which is 10 p.m. British Summer Time. And we're closing out the day. We're closing out 17 shows with the variety show. My co-host, Lori Mendelson. We have a special guest, John Christian, who is a world-renowned singer, and he is going to be singing a Garth Brooks song, If Tomorrow Never Comes. So I'll tell you what is coming, the Pet Psychic Amina, right after this. So I'm going to do a quick change, and I'll be right back. Thank you again for being here with us. It's great to see you. Thanks, Pearl.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.